Hello, welcome to my channel. Thank you for coming back as always. Huge massive thank you for the support and top of the morning to you. Happy St. Patrick's Day. So I did say I was going to pop in with some of these Pun-tastic card toppers. For the two cards that I'm going to be using today, I am going to be using some of the matching foiled kit. I'm also going to be using some adorable scoreable cardstock as well, so I'm not using the 8x8 pad today. But let's get started. So the first card I'm going to do is going to be another one of my little toaster card that I made for my samples as part of the DT. So I should just mention from the outset that this pack was sent to me as part of the design team. So to start with, just rarely I do use these 7x7 card blanks. They're not Hunkydory, they are, I think they might be Cardcraft, something like that. So they are not, although they're supposed to be 7x7, that's the size of the envelope. But for this it doesn't really matter because I'm going to cut it down anyway. So I'm putting the score line, so at the top, and then I'm cutting that down to 6 inches just to make it easier with some of my measurements. And I'm going to keep the actual length at, I think it's 7 3/4, 6 3/4. Yeah, just about. Okay, so popping this back in with that short end that we've just cut to 6 inches, what I'm going to do is pop my card up to the 1 inch mark, past that, past the cut line. And then I'm going to pop my blade onto one, and I'm going to cut from, no, because that's moving the card, let's hold the card in place. So I'm going to cut from 1 to 5 3/4. It's a lot easier if you've got an actual 7x7 card blank, because you would just do 1 inch each side. And then what I can do is pop that in, pop that blade down, and then just bring that up to match that cut line. And then again on this one, up to the 1 inch mark, and again just bringing that cut line up to meet. I can always just pop my knife in and or my scissors and just neaten that up if I need to. We'll need 2 on that one. Let's just move that out of the way a second. And then what you're going to get is your card blank or your toaster. That is what we're working from. So now the length of here, so where we're going to decorate is 6 3/4 that way, and this piece here should be 5 inches, pretty sure it was, yeah, so 5 by 6 3/4. So that's the size that our mats will be. What I did do just to tidy this up though, I brought in the large and mega hole punch, and I did, this might shake the camera, so apologies, I did all of these outside ones with this one because it's a bit more heavy duty, this one, to be honest. Let's just give that a little burnish down and then it will go in there nicely like so. And then my last little leg, and then to neaten up the insides, because this one's got like a smaller little, but this is the Hunkydory one as well, and you can do those separately. Now, when I was thinking about doing a toaster for this one, rather sadly, I did spend about half an hour Googling toasters before I decided what I was going to do. In the end, I did, I took some green adorable scoreable and I just scored, I think it was like every other line, just to give it a sort of bit of texture. But when I did look online, there were so many different patterns on toasters. Honestly, they were quite beautiful. Maybe I want to buy a new toaster even though we don't need one. There was all like crisscross patterns. So, you know, even just with some plain adorable scoreable, you can really make that look pretty. Okay, so let's do some layers. So the actual legs here, I'm leaving these white, so I'm not doing anything with them. I am going to be using, this is not adorable scoreable, no, this is not the word I'm looking for. It's not Miri card, Hunkydory Miri card. This is just, this actually came, I think, from a pound shop. Okay, so to do this middle piece, let's bring that back in. To do this middle piece, we need that to be 2 notches under the 5 and 2 notches under 6 3/4. Obviously we need to round those off. Just going to take a little bit more off there. Just to make sure that the layers are all even. So obviously we need to round that up, but that is fine. And then because I'm going for an uber posh one this time, I'm using this star one because we're using the, yeah, I am using this one. So we need to go for, I'm going to start at 4 3/4 by 6 1/2. Obviously keep all of these little bits. Now I think I may have to just take another little bit off this. Yeah, just because we trim that other bit a little bit more. And then that should fit onto there. Nicely. Okay, and that is, no it's not, I need to do another piece. So the other piece, I'm going to bring in some yellow adorable scoreable and I'm going to cut this to 3 1/2 inches and I'll do it at 6 for now. I might need to trim that down a little bit more, but we will see how it goes. Now the other thing I want to do is bring in this tag punch, big massive tag punch, and you can see how it's too big to go in any of those guidelines, but all I need to do is just make sure that's evenly in there. Might see my head a little bit, so I do apologise. Oops. Good press down, so we do still get that tag part. And then what I like to do is just bring in my ruler. For the one that I did before, I did use the tag dies instead, which obviously is slightly easier. But this is another way you can do it if you haven't got them. So what I'm going to do is just turn that over. It doesn't quite fit in, but I can get it lined up. Press down. And I'm just looking at the cardstock, just making sure the point is in the point of the punch. And I'm going to get those rounded corners that I want. Okay, so these are the pieces now. Now I am sure we have everything. let's bring in the punch again before I forget and try and glue it all together and round all these corners to match my toaster. And last one. Okay, you can use either the bigger one or the smaller one, whichever you're more comfortable with. Okay, so this piece now is going to fit perfectly onto there. So the glues I'm going to be using, my usual ones are the all-purpose, which is in this one, and the tacky glue, which is in this one. So what I need to do first of all is pop this onto my gold mirror. Now what I can see is it just has blurred my all-purpose there, so I don't want that to come out the ends. So just use a bit of card just to spread that inwards so it doesn't come out over my gold mirror card and take the shine off. But there you can go, we can see that it is looking quite nice as it is. Now what I want to do now is just check how far I want that to come down. I think that is going to be fine. I'm going to use some 2mm Hunkydory strips in this one, just because it's easier just to get this mapped out where I want that to go. And I'm going to pop. Remember not to go quite up to the top, because I don't want it to be seen when the layers are on. So I'm leaving a good amount of room so that I can get that tag in and out. And again, making sure I don't go too close to the top. Okay. And then what I can do is just pop a little bit on those outer sides, just to give that a nice amount of support. So basically just making a little space where that tag can go in, and then if I pop that just on there, just testing it out, I can see there's a nice amount of support in this. That's perfect. So now I can take all of these backs off, and you can see how quickly this card comes together. There's hardly any matting and layer into it at all. And do remember to put a bit of foam tape at the bottom along here, otherwise your tag is just going to fall straight out the bottom. So just make sure you enclose it all the way around. Now I am going to use tacky glue on here. You can use the purple glue stick, works really well for this as well. To refill this glue, I think. And this is just going to give me that little window of opportunity to move things if I need to. I haven't got any right or wrong way. Sorry if you see my head come in. I'm just going to pop that down. You can see there's just that little bit of space at the top where that is going to go in. So if I check my tag, I can see that's going to fit perfectly in there. My card is going to stand like so. We just need to add our topper to this, remembering not to go too high, because otherwise we're not going to be able to get that inside our little toaster. So we want a toast to your success, which is the sentiment. And I've also taken out, and this was a 2019 little book of sentiments. I've got a Bravo, you did it, and they're going to be our toaster buttons, if you like. Okay, now for this one I'm just going to go flat. Like I said, don't want too much height on there. You probably could get away with a 1mm. If you wanted to go a bit higher with this part, you could obviously then go higher again. I do want to make sure that that is hidden. Just is, could do it just coming down a tiny little bit, and you could emboss this, you know, and do loads of things to make it look even prettier if you wanted to. You could even use a white card and then do some layers if you wanted to as well. I've just kept it really simple. And to decorate that, I've just got a little bit of blue ribbon, which is pretty much exactly the same colour as the blue on there, so it's the same colour as that. And all I'm going to do is just pop that through and pull that along, and then you could put a bow on there if you preferred. I'm going to keep it quite general, so this could be boy or girl, and then obviously our little toast would fit in there. And then we've got our little sentiments. This was the closest to a yellow one I could find. I could have gone with a white one, I guess. The white probably would have fit in with the white on here. I thought I would try and pick up at least some of those sort of yellowy tones from the toast. So I'm going to use 2mm foam pads on these buttons, and you could put these anywhere, you know, on your little toaster. You can put them anywhere you like. There we go. So pop a little bit of glue on there just to give me that wiggle room time again, just making sure I've got it nicely lined up. And on the original one I didn't use a second sentiment. What I did was take a piece of card, I embossed it with some dots and left it at that. Okay, so I am going to come in with some gems on this one. I don't think I did on the other one, but let's go with this darker blue. I'm going to go smaller one. Oops, doesn't want to come off. Okay, 3 on that side. Three on that side. And then just one down this bottom corner if it decides to come off and play. There we go, so slightly different by adding the gems there. That is going to be card number 1. Super quick and easy. Like I say, if you wanted to decorate these, you could even cut this out of, got a gem there. You could even cut these out of your adorable scoreable maybe, and have a coloured piece underneath. But then that is going to be our little reveal, which is a toast to your success. So this is a sort of well done, you've done it sort of card, bit of a different take on it. So that's card number 1, and I'm just going to get set up for card number 2. Okay, so for card number 2 I am going to be doing a 6x6, just a normal little 10-fold card. I did do a little bit of work beforehand, I will just show you in a second, but to start with I'm just going to mat and layer some gold on there. So I'm going to take those 2 notches off just 2 of those sides. Alright, so okay, That should fit rather nicely onto there. And then what I did do, the piece that I did beforehand, which I have now lost, need that there, because I'm using that as well. So I took some grey Adorable Scoreable, this year's colours. I've debossed it with the Moonstone dots. You could have it embossed if you wanted to. I just felt like the deboss side. I'm really into the debossing at the moment, so quite a few of my cards have had that. So that is 5 3/4 square sized piece of cardstock. And then I'm going to take another piece of gold and I'm going to cut this. Let's take 2 notches off one of the sides, because we do need that to be 6, and I think I'm going to go at 2 1/4 inches, and that's going to go across the centre piece. And then this one, because obviously I want the cloud to go in the right way, I'm going to cut this to 2 notches under 2 1/4 by 5 3/4. Hopefully that should fit rather nicely onto there, and it does. That's going to go across there. I'm going to be using my star, and the sentiment with this one is "You star so amazing." Might come over to the side, have that like so. Don't think I want the border on it, although you have got the stars there if you wanted it. And that is it, I think, for this. The little thing, because this is a pun-tastic set, I'm kind of thinking you do want to make the most of those sort of funny sentiments of the card. So I'm going to put a wobbler on this one. And I think that's what's great about this kit, is that it just makes you think about how you can bring that extra little bit of fun to it. So I'm really into grey at the moment as well. The last couple of cards I've made, or couple of times I've sat down to make cards, I've used the grey. And I'm just going to mat and layer these up while I'm doing that. And apologies to our overseas friends, but the news today that the goodie boxes are back. So they usually do these before Easter and before Christmas, just before Easter and just before Christmas. And obviously we are coming into that Easter season now. Lent has started. So yeah, so goodie boxes are there. So I know that you guys in the States, you can't order them from Hunkydory, but you can, and I know there are some places it does ship worldwide from Hobby Maker, but I'm not sure on all of them. But I did hear them say the other day that their shipping is only $14.95, which I was expecting it to be a lot more than that. I was expecting it to be in the 30s. That's Hobby Maker. So yeah, it might be worth popping over there if you are looking to get a goodie box, because they are super value. And this, again, you can see how quick this card is. And then I've got this little wobbler. This one I did get from AliExpress, I think, but you can get them from most craft shops, or you have got those sort of overseas places that you can get them as well, and they're just called wobblers or wobbling mechanism. Now what I do want to do is get this sort of in the middle, so let's put that there. Oh, I hate it when that happens. So I'm just using my mat to sort of worked out. So it needs to come along around about there, and then deciding where I want that to go. I do want that there, and then we've got our little wobbler. I do like a wobbler. And then let's grab some 2mm foam pads. And poke those down a little bit. So I've just got a couple of proud pips there. So let's pop that on. And then I feel like we need some darker gems, and I've got these ones here. Again, these would have come from probably AliExpress or Temu, and they're kind of Aurora Borealis but black and purple. So let's grab my little, and these are non-adhesive obviously because they're in this pot. So I'm feeling like it's picking up these blue tones of this navy. And come on, let's have some of you out. And let's get rid of you. And then we've got a super big one. And one more for the corner there. I think that's what we're going to do. I think you know, you got your pros and cons for both types of gem. The ones that are on the clear sheet you can obviously hold over your project, but these ones that are not glued, they do give you that opportunity to lay them down before you even start, which you can sort of see how you want those to go. So they're not too in your face shiny, these, so they could be still for, I wouldn't feel bad giving these to a fella because they're not like pretty gems. Well, they are pretty because they are sparkly, but they're not, you know, girly gems. There we go. So what did that take me? 8 minutes. Mind you, I did do that embossing beforehand, so it does need a little insert. I know there are some new trim me pads coming this week. I think they're the ones that Dan might have said about in the magazine, if he did manage to get hold of them. Just going back to the goodie boxes for a second while I bring that second card in, that first card in. I have ordered 2. I know my order with the next kit I'm going to be playing with, the floral one, is going to be here. It will be here, not today, so not tomorrow, it'll be here Wednesday, but I'm still going to play with another one of this Pun-tastic, because if my goodie boxes turn up in the meantime between the next play I have with this little Pun-tastic kit and the time for the next video, I might just do the goodie box openings first, because I'm thinking that I don't really want to get into those flowers and then really start enjoying it and then have to come out of that mentality to be thinking about the goodie boxes and then go back into it again. I want to sort of keep it continuous. I think it's easier to follow that way for me anyway. But that's it for today, and at least that's a little insight as to my thinking about what will happen. So you know it's going to be Pun-tastic again next time. I think next time what I'll do is 2 cards with the magazine. I'm not sure if I'm going to do more cards of, you know, copying what I did for my DT work or design team work, or whether I'm just going to come up with some new ideas. I kind of feel like it's better for, because there's so much in this kit, you know, you get 4 pages of each of those toppers. it's better for me to come up with a few new ideas and have those out there then to keep copying what I've done already. So that's my thinking at the moment, but it's definitely going to be Pun-tastic. It's definitely going to be with the book pages rather than the foil, although I might steal a little bit for a hint now and then if I feel it needs it. But that's it for today. Hopefully you're enjoying your St. Patrick's Day. Hopefully it's still St. Patrick's Day where you are. And I will be back next time. But until then, thank you for watching and happy crafting. Bye.